Welcome to the Echo of Vlad podcast. If you want to have deep conversations about life, God, relationships, motivation, anything you come up with, but more than anything, having a real and honest conversation, dropping a few gems along the way. I am joined by my guest today, Tabi. How's it going?
Hello.
How are you feeling today?
Good.
One thing that I'll tell you about Tabi, right? This is somebody I actually really consider a twin, like pretty much my twin sister. We spent literally about 22 years of our lives literally back to back each week. I've probably seen you every week for 22 years.
At least once every week.
At least once a week. And probably like a few weeks like traveling and stuff like that, but we travel mostly together.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to me. Like, this is my cousin, this is my blood, but honestly this is like my twin sister right here. Kyle from last episode, he's my twin cousin, but he's also my brother. I mean, not also my brother. He's my twin cousin, who I consider my twin brother. This is my twin sister right here.
Yeah, we're triplets. We're triplets.
Unofficial triplets. But I do have to give a shout out because it was your birthday yesterday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday again. 22. Finally.
I know. Who
How do you
would
feel
have
about
thought?
it?
I feel the same.
The same.
Like, nothing. I mean, I had like a moment where I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm getting older because next year we'll be like 23.
Yes.
It's crazy. We only get older from here, not really younger. So, I mean, after that, it was fun. We went out, so.
It's funny to me because sometimes like I felt like as a kid when you reached like a certain, like you had your birthday, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always think that, okay, yes, I feel much older now. Or I feel much older. Like 11 to 12, I felt older. 12 to 13, I felt older. I think it's probably because we were in school. Like each year we were in a different grade.
Yeah.
But now, like out of college, in college and whatever, it's like, okay, the next year is the next year.
Yeah, I think like after 18, I was just like, okay, I turned older. Well, I mean, whoop-de-doo. I mean, it didn't have the same effect as when I was younger. Like after 18, it was just like, oh, okay, well, I'm 19 now.
And then you're 20.
And now I'm 20.
And
then
21.
21. And now I'm
22.
22. And it's like, wow,
Are you a person who likes to celebrate their birthdays?
Not to like an extreme. Like yesterday we went to Extreme Action Park because I've never been there. Someone like mentioned it to me. They're like, oh, you should do this because I think I was trying to do like another option, like the movies or something. But we always go to the movies. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, well, I'd go to Extreme Action Park because like a coworker of mine mentioned it, and I was like, oh, I've never been there, so I guess I'll go. And that's all I wanted to do. That's it. Spend time with the people closest to me.
I get you.
So.
Me, I guess because we're twins, like I'm the polar opposite of her. So I'm the one who like likes to go all out for my birthday if I could.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why, but I like enjoying. Like I like having the people who are close to me, but it's like I like so many people. So it's like I like having, like I like interacting with people on my birthday. It's weird. It's not weird, but it's just.
I mean, I guess that's just your personality. That's what you like. For me, it's like I don't want extravagant stuff. Like, give me food, tell me happy birthday. We go out where I want to go out, and then that's it. Like, I like to make a weekend of it because like my brother's birthday is so close to mine. Yeah. But other than that, like on my day, we just do one thing. As long as I eat some good food, that's it. I'm satisfied. Like, tell me happy birthday. That's it. Like, I don't need anything else.
As you can tell, she's the introverted twin, and I'm probably the extroverted twin.
Yeah, I don't like all of that. Like,
I don't know.
Just tell me happy birthday, and that's it.
For me, that's just like younger me would have been like, "What? You gotta celebrate your birthday. It's your birthday." But
yeah, because I mean, it's like you can bet that, you know, not a lot of people make it to their birthday. So, I mean, it's a blessing. But at the same time, it's like, okay, I turned a year older. That's it.
I feel you. I remember one time, my 19th birthday, I was in class, and then one of my friends, she saw my story that it was my birthday, like on Snapchat, and she yelled out, like in front of the class, like when we were ending, happy birthday to me. So I just like said happy birthday to everybody. I don't know why, but that warmed my heart.
They did that to me at work yesterday morning because I got off work yesterday morning.
She works night shift, dog.
Yeah, I work night shift as a nurse. And like my nurse, like my charge nurse, she wrote on the board because it was actually another coworker's birthday too. So she wrote on the board like in big letters, "Happy birthday, Tabitha, and so and so." And then
happy birthday to you if you're watching this.
Yes. and then one of the doctors, like he's really nice to me, and he was just like, "Oh my gosh, happy birthday!" And I was like, I mean, I didn't want her to write it on the board because the charge was just like, "Oh my gosh, you should have told me it's your birthday. Like I would have bought you a cake." And I'm like, I'm not really a cake person, but you could have got me a cupcake, I guess. But it was just like, okay, it's my birthday. That's it.
I'm the complete opposite. I would have wrote it on the board myself the night before.
Oh
Just,
just tell me happy birthday.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all I could ask for. Like.
I get you.
Very simple.
You're more. I've always seen that you're more like the quiet one. Like if I'm running around doing stupid stuff, you're the one.
I'm
that's like
sitting in a corner reading a book.
Yes, that is the dynamic between me and her. Honestly.
Yes, I'm sitting in a corner reading a book. Preferably my phone now because you can read stuff on your phone.
I mean, ever since Wattpad, you've been definitely.
Well, yeah, but before then I had like the physical books in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, then I got a phone. It was like, oh wow, I can read online. I don't care if it's Wattpad, like it's like books on like Apple Store. Like as long as it's a book, I'm gonna read it. So.
That's her strength, right? She got the books on it. I did not get that.
I like reading.
Yeah. Crazy enough, right? So I'm older than her by 4 months. So I'm born in April. She's born in August, right? That's when we're recording this. And obviously, there's a height difference between us, right?
Yeah, but for a good while when we were growing up, I was taller than you.
Only for like 1 year.
That's usually how it is with girls and boys. Like usually the girls are taller like when you're younger.
She was taller than me by 1 inch in like 3rd grade, 3rd or 5th grade.
I don't know.
That was it. That was 1 inch. 1 inch was all it was.
Yeah, and then I stopped growing after like middle school, I would say.
You sure it was middle school?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I think it was 5th grade you stopped growing.
No, it was middle school. Because in 5th grade I was like 4'11". I'm 5'1" now. So I would say I probably stopped growing like, not even really middle school, probably high school. I think I grew 1 more inch. Because I was probably 5 feet in middle school and then I grew another inch and that was it.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Tabi. You need like a couple more inches.
That's fine.
You need a couple.
I like my height the way it is.
I'm sorry. I gotta apologize for all the short jokes I've made.
That's fine because I'm at least taller than one person in our family.
Come on.
So
you gotta throw Ali under the bus.
That's fine.
Ali, she's coming for you.
I'm not coming for you. Yes, Ali knows. Every time I see her, I always say I'm at least taller than one person, and it's her, and she's accepted that. Because I take pride in that. And that's only because I have a longer torso. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, you kind of do.
That's the only reason I'm taller than her. I accept that fact.
I don't know. For me, I used to be like insecure about height.
Oh, I don't care.
You don't care. I do. Right. So where she doesn't care, I do care.
I like that I'm short. I think I would have looked weird as a tall person.
No disrespect to the tall people. No disrespect.
No disrespect. I just know if it were me, I would probably look weird. So. I guess it's because I'm so used to being short. So I don't know. I don't know any better.
Interesting. But I do gotta say though, right? Growing up, right? You've always been in, I would say, not tough positions, but you graduated early from high school.
Yeah.
You graduated early from high school, and then technically by graduating early from high school, you graduated earlier than you would have from college, right?
Well, I still did the 4 years.
You did 4 years,
but I just, the age I graduated in, I guess you could consider it early.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then now you're working in the field.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I got a question. Do you ever feel like a sense of like imposter syndrome when it comes to like when you complete stuff? Because like you've always been accelerating. Do you ever feel like you didn't match up to where you were?
I mean, at first, I guess I could say, at first, because nobody ever, especially like because when you're in school, you're working towards a goal. Mm-hmm. And then when you finally reach that goal, it kind of feels like I don't know, like you're an imposter because like, okay, well, I've got this degree, I've got this license, and now I'm working my dream job, like what I've been striving for since I was like, I don't know, 5 or something, you know? So every day I go to work, yeah, you kind of feel a little bit like an imposter. It's just like, am I really supposed to be here?
Yeah.
Like, you know you have the qualifications, you know? Like, because you went to school, you got the license and stuff like that, but at the same time, it's like, I'm kind of like an adult, and I actually have to go to work, and I actually have to do what I went to school for.
Yeah.
You do kind of feel like an imposter, like you're not, like, supposed to be there. But I think, like, for me, I kind of get over stuff like that, like, pretty quickly. And I guess what helped was, like, when I was in nursing school, we had, like, clinicals, so we would always go, like, to the clinics or the hospitals.
You already get that feel.
So you already get that feel for it. So you're not really... as far as for me, like, probably after, like, the first month of working there, I didn't really feel like an imposter as in comparison to other people. I mean, everybody's different. But for me, like, I get over stuff pretty quickly. So I guess the first month I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm actually a nurse. Like, I actually have to take care of patients. Because when you're in nursing school, it's like, oh, I'm not really a nurse. I'm just a student nurse. I'm just here for, like, however many hours. And I go on my merry way, and that's it. But, like, now that I'm a nurse, it's like, oh my gosh, these are my patients under my care. Like, doctors call me and ask me questions about my patients, and I can't say, oh no, let me let you speak to the nurse. Like, it doesn't work like that because I'm the nurse. Like, it's, so I guess, like, that first month, like, because you never really know what you're getting into, especially in your field, even though you've probably had the practice, you probably, I did feel like an imposter. It's like, am I supposed to be here? But after a month, you know, and I guess it helps out with, like, the coworkers you have, like, the people you surround yourself with, that it makes you feel kind of better about yourself so you don't really feel like an imposter. So I guess I could say, like, my preceptor, when I started out, like, she was really good at making me feel comfortable. Like, you're a nurse. You have to trust your judgment because you went to school for this. Like, you paid all sorts of money,
and you learn, you pass tests.
You pass tests, like, you actually know how to do this, you know, so you can. So I guess after, like, that month, I didn't feel like an imposter. Like, I would go to work, I was just like, I can do this. I mean, when I was in orientation, I was, like, during day shift, and day shift was crazy. So
I remember you told me a story from clinicals that, like, one patient you had didn't believe that you were a nurse.
Exactly, like, and I think that's what reaffirmed, because I've always wanted to be a pediatric nurse, and for those who don't know, that's a children's nurse, like a kids nurse. So I work with, like kids from infants to 21-year-olds.
She just made it out.
21. I mean, but, like, in some of our units, we take up to, like, 25-year-olds. So really and truly, I didn't really make it out. Not really. Not really. But, yeah, so I think, like, that one day in clinical, because we usually work with adults, and because we were, like, in COVID, we didn't really get a chance to work with children. Like, we had, like, virtual clinical. So we did, like, simulations and stuff like that for, like, the pediatric rotation. So really and truly, when I was in clinical, all I dealt with was adults. And I remember, like, my last clinical, it was, like, my last clinical rotation of nursing school. And I was taking care of this guy, and he was just like, are you sure you're a nurse? Like, are you sure you're in nursing school? Like, how old are you? And I was just like, I think that reaffirmed my decision. I was like, let me work with children, because at least they'll think I'm their friend or something like that. They'll take me a little bit more seriously, because, especially, like, if it goes up to 21-year-olds, because it's like, okay, if you're working in pediatrics, you must not be too much older than me. Or you are older than me. So, you know, they'll give you some sense of respect. Like, I had, like, a 20-year-old, he was calling me ma'am. I felt so weird. I was just like,
that's adulthood.
I was just like, you don't have to call me ma'am. I'm, like, literally 1 year older than you, sir. Like, and he was just like, really? And I was like, yeah, don't call me ma'am. That feels weird. It feels really, really weird.
Growing up, right, you felt like I remember when I graduated from, I went from kindergarten to first grade, right? And then all of a sudden I was looking at the kindergarten, and it's like, that was so long ago, like, I'm so much mature now, right? And then when I went to first grade to, like, or, like, 5th grade to 6th grade, I'm like, yeah, I was much more mature than the 5th grade. Then when I went from when I went from 8th grade to maybe high school, I was like, hey, well, 8th grade I thought I was so mature. 6th grade I thought I was so mature for my age. But then I look back and I'm like, yo, I'm so much more, like, that was like a kid for me back then, right?
Well, I mean, as a kid, that was what mature was for you.
You always think that you're mature, like, as you get to the second place. Like, you go from middle school to high school.
Yeah, you develop a little bit more, yeah.
But then when I look back when I'm in those moments where I look back, I'm like, yo, I wasn't even mature back then.
Because you're more mature now.
Yes.
You're older and you're wiser, so looking back at it, of course. But in that moment, like when you went from 5th grade to 6th grade or 8th grade to like, you know, as a freshman in high school, you were a little bit more mature in that age range, like in that setting.
Right.
Because you could only grow wiser, like you would have to, like you know more by then.
But it's weird because like maybe that reference point I saw was so mature, and then the next reference point I'm looking back at myself like, I wasn't mature at all back then.
Yeah.
And then like high school, then to college to the end of college, I'm like, what's the end all be all for maturity?
You grew up. I mean, I don't want to say there's not an age for maturity, because there definitely is, but everybody reaches that age or stage at a different point. Some people might be mature when they reach 30. Some people might be a little bit mature when they're 40. Some people might be when they're 25. It all depends. I mean, everybody's different. Like, of course, I would say there might be a set age, but I don't know. I think that's like a whole different conversation. But everybody's different. Like,
that's true.
Because a lot of people would say that I'm mature for my age. Like, my coworkers tell me, they're like, when I was 21 or 22, I didn't really like have a clear path to thinking, oh, I want to do this and that's it. Like, and just set out like for that goal. Like, you know, not a lot of people would just like school, and then finally end up in their dream job, you know? Like, a lot of my coworkers, like, nursing is like a job, is their secondary job, like something that was like a career switch. Like, they did something else.
They did something else then
yeah.
So your coworkers are much older than you.
Yeah, they're much older than me. So it's like a lot of them, like, they probably started out as teachers or pharmacists or stuff like that, and they chose nursing as a career later on in life, you know, like a switch.
Right.
So, I mean, so a lot of them were just like, you know, when they were like 21 or 22, they definitely weren't in the right frame of mind to say, okay, I want to do this and set out that goal, you know? So they say, like, in that aspect, I'm really mature for my age, because not a lot of 21-year-olds or 22-year-olds do that, you know?
You said that you wanted to be a nurse since you were 5, right?
Yeah, like 5 or 6.
What about, if you could remember, what about like 5 or 6 or that you saw in nursing that you said, yeah, I want to do it, I want to pursue it, that. But first, before you answer that question, let's go to commercial real quick and we'll be right back. This episode is going good so far. I'm loving the conversation I'm having with my cousin Tabi. But right now I want to know what you think so far. If you're in your early 20s or in college or post-college, is the career path you're doing right now something that you've always wanted to be doing? Or even if you're older and in a different career path or in the same career path, is this something that you always wanted to do, and when did you really find that out? Let me know everything down in the comments. Let's get back to the episode, get back to the conversation. Let's stop wasting time. You were saying that, I was asking, what about nursing, about at 5 years old, said, hey, you want to do it at that point?
I think specifically it was pediatric nursing, because, you know, when you grow up, like as a kid, you go to your pediatrician or you meet with a pediatric nurse, and I think I was really fascinated with, you know, how cool the nurses were, you know, how interactive they were, because like when you're with adults, it's not that same, I want to say it's not that same feeling. Like, all nurses, you know, are caring and compassionate and, you know, provide care to like their patients.
Yeah.
Like, no matter the age. But I feel like there was something specific about pediatric nursing that it was just like, oh my gosh, this looks fun, because it's not just, you know, them giving me meds or shots when I go to the doctor's office. It's more like, okay, they give me a lollipop, or they play games with me, or they, you know, they interact with me, ask me about my favorite shows. Like, and I think I grew up wanting to do that.
Right.
Like, and I'm in a position to do that now, which is, you know, great for me, because like I get to go to work, and it's not just giving meds.
It's more interactive.
It's more
More
interactive.
the stuff that you saw, like younger than.
Yeah, like how like, you know, pediatric nurses were to me. So I get to go to work, and it's just like, it's not, oh my gosh, let me just give you your med and then, you know, go chart somewhere. It's more like, oh my gosh, is that your favorite show? Like, oh my gosh, tell me about your favorite character. Right. Or like they have toys around and you get to play like blocks with them all day or something like that, you know? It's not as impersonal. Like, it's more personal. You get to know the kid. So then when they come back, it's just like, oh my gosh, like, you were my nurse. Like, we did this and we did that and we colored and we did, you know, so many things. And I think growing up, I was just like, oh my gosh, I want to be like a nurse like that, you know?
If it wasn't nursing, what do you think you would be doing?
A teacher.
I can see that. I can see that.
A teacher.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Preschool.
Nah. I love kids, but not that much. Not that much. I think maybe, I don't know, maybe middle school. Because I don't think high schoolers would take me seriously.
So sorry, I said that too much.
No, but I
said that too much. I have a friend named Roxy. I think she's slightly shorter than you. Roxy, how are you going? How's it going? Watch out. Like, she said she wanted to do high school, right? I told her, don't do high school.
They wouldn't take me seriously. I know my strengths. And that is it.
That's it.
I know they would not take me seriously. There's no way. So I'd probably do middle school because I know, or elementary maybe, but definitely not preschool because no thank you. I love kids, but not that much, okay? But probably elementary or middle school.
I get you. Because I've always seen you interact with kids on like such a like very kind of, I wouldn't say motherly, but like so much an interactive level that's like close to a teacher. Even with like babysitting Layla and Lauren, right? For some reason,
those are my kids, okay?
For some reason,
like, just ask their mom. They're like, those are your kids. That's it. That's what she says. Those are my kids. I love them.
It's so weird because I don't know if it's just a guy thing, but sometimes you like me know exactly what to do. Like, they need to cuddle one time, they need to sleep one time, they need to
I don't know.
They need milk, need food. Like, sometimes I'm like having to negotiate with Lauren, like, what do you want? What do you want? Food? No. Do you want sleep? No. Do you want
She's a 2-year-old. She's not going to tell you exactly what she wants.
Right, but in those moments, I don't know what it is. Like, I literally just asked her, hey, do you want to sleep? Right? No. She goes to Tabby, then she's fast asleep. I'm like, what? I specifically asked you.
You don't ask them because they're toddlers. They're little kids. They're not just going to go to sleep if you say go to sleep.
I asked. I was like, do you want sleep?
No, of course she's going to say no. No toddler wants to really go to sleep even though they want to go to sleep.
That's true. I wouldn't want to go to sleep.
Exactly. You could see the fight in their eyes.
They'd be fighting for their life.
You know what I used to do with Layla when I would like babysit her?
Right.
And I knew she was tired and I knew she needed a nap. But she wasn't going to, she's like, no, I'm not tired, Tabby. I'm not tired. And I'm like, no, you are going to sleep. We're going to go in this shower and I'm going to give you a nice bath. Gave her some milk. She knocked out. I know you're tired. You just have to know what to do to put them there.
Girls have like a knack for it, just to know. Because for me, it's like, okay, check, no. All right, let's try this to see if it works.
It's the same with babies. Like, you gotta do all their needs. Like, if they're crying, they're either hungry, they tired, they want you to hold them, they probably pee or poop, or they hungry. You know, like it's.
Me, I'm like, speak English, please.
They can't.
They can't.
So
that's interesting. Do you think that kind of experience with babysitting helps you in the pediatric nursing?
Oh yeah, for sure. I learned so many things from Layla when she was like 1 that is just like.
Shout out to Karen, by the way. That's our cousin technically, and then Karen's our aunt. Shout out to you, just to say.
But yeah, I learned so many things from like Layla and Lauren. It's just like I applied at work because like I've done so many things with them, like different games, different tactics, stuff like that to keep them occupied. Or like I know certain things. Like if they're tired, like when Layla was 1, I just gave her a bath, gave her some milk, and she would go to sleep. So I apply the same concept. Like if I'm taking care of a baby and the parent is not there overnight or whatever, and they're crying their eyes out, sometimes you can spare a little time, give them a little, little bed bath, wrap them up nice, feed them. They will knock out. I kid you not.
That's interesting. That is interesting.
They knock out.
I want to go back to what we were talking about imposter syndrome, right? You said sometimes you gotta have those realizations that you've done the work to do those things. You've done the kind of work to get there. To get there. So
yeah.
I have a quote that says, sometimes you have to outsmart yourself to get where you want to go. Do you think that's something you had to go through?
I mean, yeah, definitely. Like, I don't know what else to say to that, but yeah, I definitely had to outsmart myself, especially like when it came to subjects I really wasn't good at, like in nursing. There was like one class, mental health, bro. There's just some classes, like when you get into it, you already know that class is not for you. Like you're not gonna understand a lick of nothing.
Man,
and mental health.
Ask me about classes.
And mental health and nursing, that was that class. When I tell you, like the concepts of that class did not click in my mind until maybe like the final exam. And like it was just like, oh my gosh, it finally makes sense now. But yeah, like there's some instances I had to outsmart myself or find tactics to, you know, learn more or do better. Especially like when I wasn't striving in a class or I felt like I wasn't doing as much hands-on things like when I was in clinical. Like I would have to find ways to like motivate myself and say, hello, like you're gonna graduate soon, you know, like
I'm curious.
What are you gonna do?
I'm curious. Have you ever had to have a moment where you said, hey, this isn't working, I gotta jump out of this, or I gotta let this go?
Like as far as classes or like
classes, nursing, or whatever, like other things you wanted to do.
Well, I'm the type of person, like, I like to push through stuff. Like, I don't think people...
She don't take L's, guys. She don't take L's.
I don't think anyone has ever really seen me stressed. Like, I work best under pressure. I think through nursing school, I was stressed as heck. But nobody could tell me that I was stressed. Because I would be like, I'm not stressed.
You think it's normal?
I think it's normal. But trust and believe, I think I was stressed for those past 2 years. Like... You just couldn't read it on my face, but I think every day I was stressed.
I get you.
Yeah, for sure.
And plus, that introvert with your side, you probably wouldn't say that you were stressed. Or you try not to show it as much.
Yeah, I would fight through that jive. Like, I was not going to sit there and be like, you know what, let me take myself... Yeah, I don't think there was ever a moment I was just like, let me take myself out of this class. I don't think I'm doing well. Because I kept reminding myself that I can do it. You know, like to have that self-motivation, like if I felt down or if I felt even more stressed than normal, like I would tell myself, hello, you got to nursing school for a reason. Yeah. Like, you know, like you can do this. Like cry your little tears and then get to pushing.
The quote I was saying, I found completely, it says, sometimes you have to outsmart yourself and ask yourself, what don't you have that it takes? As in like, can you think of something that wouldn't qualify you for this? And for me, I know that's kind of told me, hey, you qualify for this. There's nothing you don't have that you need. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Maybe, I don't know, I would have to really think of something. Because on the spot, I can't think of something where I was just like, oh, you definitely don't got this.
For me, that was calculus. Calculus, I knew I had to get out of there.
I mean,
I took 2 tests and I was like, I was brain fried. My brain was like completely fried after that class.
I guess I would say it would probably be mental health. Like, as soon as I was in that class, like the first lecture, I was like, oh no. I was like, I don't know a lick of nothing. Like, I had the book, I was annotating. Like, in the clinical portion, I was doing great. I don't know what the heck I was doing. But for some reason, my brain was not processing the concepts learned in clinical with class. Like clicking. It was not clicking. And it wasn't until someone like literally helped me out, like shout out to Christelle. Like it's not someone until like she sat me down and we did like study guides together that it finally was just like, oh my gosh, it makes sense now. And that was until like the dang semester was almost over. Like I was about to take the final exam, you know?
That's when like, all just finally started clicking.
Yes, and it was crazy because like for that class, I was literally teetering on the edge of like the lowest C ever, bro. Like, cause in our nursing school, 76 is the lowest C you can get. If you're at 75, you're failing. You're at a D. Like, that's it.
What?
Exactly.
Hold up.
So I was teetering at a 76, 77, bro. Like, for the whole semester of that class. It was wild. At some point, I went down to 72, but we're not gonna speak on that. Anyways,
that's old news. That's old news.
Majority of it, I was at like 76, 77. It was crazy. It was to the point I was just like, if I don't pass this final exam, like, I'm gonna fail this class. Mm-hmm. And I don't like failing. Nobody likes failing. But shout out to Christelle. She helped me, man.
College will tell you what you need.
She was the OG.
Yeah, shout out to people at college who help us. We did this together.
Because all my other best friends, mm-hmm. they were in, because there were so many of us, right. So they had to split the class in two. Mm. So there's 2 teachers for mental health.
That reminds me of.
And all my best friends, they were in the other class. It was just me. And they were striving in that other class with that other teacher, and I'm out here teetering at a 76, bro. Like, damn near failing. Okay, it was crazy. But shout out to Christelle, because I ended up passing that class with a B.
Hey, look, you passed. That's all that matters. You passed.
Listen, C's also get degrees. I never got a C, but I'm just saying. C's get degrees.
Wait, hold on. How you gonna say C's with degrees?
Listen, I don't know. No.
Y'all, she said y'all be easy. I'm not with it.
It's not me. Y'all be easy. But I mean, really and truly, like, if you think about it, mm-hmm. like, when you're, like, in that interview for nursing, after you've graduated from nursing school and mm-hmm. you went to the NCLEX, passed the exam, got your licensure as a nurse.
Right.
Really and truly, yes, the people who are about to hire you, like when you're applying for a job, yeah, they look at your transcripts and they probably look at your GPA. But really and truly, all they care about is if you got that damn license, okay? And if you know what the heck you're doing.
If you know what you're doing.
If you know what you're doing and you're good at, like, answering questions, like, in the interview process and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Because really and truly, you did pass nursing school, if you think about it.
Yeah,
you probably got a couple of C's along the way, but you passed.
I think nursing,
and you can't really cheat the NCLEX exam either. So that means you know something. You can't cheat. There's no way for you to cheat on the NCLEX exam because there's literally cameras everywhere watching you. Like,
wow.
Right in front of the monitor, like around, like they're watching you. No, but they're watching you, so it's like you can't cheat. So if you pass the NCLEX, that means all those 2 years or 1 year of nursing school, you know something. Like, you can't say you don't know anything.
I feel like nursing is the ultimate customer service job.
Oh, it is. We are like technicians. We are laundry people. We're parents. We're chefs.
Chefs? What?
Yeah, man.
Y'all chefs?
Especially during night shift. And they're just like, because at my hospital I work in, mm-hmm. Dinner after 6:30, you will not find any food, okay? Like, once night shift starts, all you're getting is snacks, honey. There's no food.
Wow.
So when they ask me for food, I'm like, I could get you snacks. Because the kitchen ain't open until day shift. So it's just like, you gotta be a chef, you gotta put stuff together. Like, this one girl, she hated mayonnaise, right? So all the turkey sandwiches we had mayonnaise.
I hate mayo, by the way. I hate mayo.
Like, I would have to smear that jive off, man. And she just wanted the sandwich toasted, so you had to toast it a certain way. I'm telling you, we had to be chefs.
Wow.
We had to be laundry people. It's like, oh, you need your clothes to wash, because on the unit we have the laundry stuff, for if the patients and stuff like that stay for longer than maybe 3 days or whatever, mm-hmm. you would want to wash your clothes if you know you're not going home anytime soon. So we have that stuff. We're laundry people. We're technicians. This lady, I had to remove a SIM card out of her phone one time. Yeah, man, with a paperclip. It was crazy. I'm telling you, you are literally. You're not just a nurse that just passed meds. You're everything in one, because you're not only just in my specific job. You're not only just catering children. You're catering their parents. So. Yeah, man.
I get you.
For everything.
How do you balance being a nurse and having to do everything and interacting with people you may not even know, or some people that you may get to know somewhere? How do you balance that with being an introvert? Because for me, I know some of my true introverted friends, they can not talk to anybody and feel comfortable. And even like approaching different people, they got this like real type of fear. How do you balance that?
Nursing school, bro.
Nursing school just flushes that out of you?
It really does. Because even during clinical, like, they were like, oh my gosh, Tabitha, you're so quiet. And it's just like, that's how I am.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to tell myself, I have to talk to these people because it's my job.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I told myself. I said, I'm only here for 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So, I need to get all the information I can.
Is like,
it's long, bro. Especially during night shift. Once that 3 a.m. hits, bro, it's like I don't know, you like another person.
I can't do night shifts.
I love night shift though, not gonna lie.
See, that's how we so different. I can't do night shifts, she can do day shifts.
I am a night owl. You wanna know what time I went to sleep? I went to sleep at 4:30 a.m. guys. And look at me, I'm wide awake. Anyways, I am wide awake.
I'm curious, because I had a conversation with Kyle, and we were saying, because we're both extroverts, right? We don't know what it'd be like to be an introvert. There's obvious benefits of being an extrovert, but do you think there are benefits of being an introvert?
The only person who could really answer that question is my sister. Because she is like an introvert. Me, I'll talk to people because I guess I'm friendly, you know? So I'll probably talk to you at least once.
Yeah.
You know, and then, I'll go on my phone, read or whatever. But my sister, she just looks at you.
Not me.
She just looks at you. But I feel like it just, I don't know, like you just...
Like benefits, like
the benefits to being an introvert, I mean, I don't know on the top of my head. I don't know. I guess I just like it because it's like...
If you're an introvert, I'm going to need y'all to put that in the comments.
Man, I don't know the answer to that question. I don't got an answer.
I feel like there is that, like, it's not really known of. Or it's not really talked about. Because obviously, day to day, you got to talk to people. So extroverts, you're easy to talk to people. Like, I've learned that even at my jobs and in college. It's been easy to talk to people here and there, like, on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
But I could tell, like, from introverted people, maybe it's good that they're to themselves, they can process stuff more. But I don't know, I want to learn that from an introvert, because I know I would never know what it's like to be one.
Yeah.
I thought I was, but it was just shyness. I was just scared.
I guess you just notice stuff more as an introvert. So you have more time to, collect yourself and think of like what's the next course of action or what you're going to say next, if you're even going to say anything at all, really. Because a lot of times, like when I'm at work, they're like, oh my gosh, you're so quiet. You just walk into a place and you're just like, oh my gosh, like we didn't even know you were standing there or you were sitting there. And it's just like, yeah, I'm just thinking to myself, thinking about what I'm going to do next, or
I get you. I'm different. I gotta say hi to everybody. I gotta say, like, if I talk to you once, I'm talking to you multiple times.
Nah, I say hi one good time, and that's it. And if I have to tell a joke or something, I'll say the joke, and then, go on my merry way. Like, but other than that...
Are you the type to be uncomfortable around, like, large group of crowds, or, like, having to talk to people that you don't even know?
No, because I think I'm so used to it.
You're just so used to it?
I'm used to being by myself. I don't know.
I get you.
Like, so if I'm sitting in a large group of people, as long as I have my phone or like a book, I'm straight. Like, so
she's the twin that's to herself. I'm the other one.
Yeah.
I'm the one that everybody's gonna know their name of. I'm the one that everybody's gonna interact with at least once.
That's why I don't like extravagant stuff. It's just I don't like too many people at once. But my motto is, as long as there's food, I'll be happy.
There's food, books, and anime. You got it.
Oh, this is definitely anime. You see my shirt? You see that? One Piece. Let me step closer to the camera. I got it on my back. See this?
If it's anime, she's gonna talk to you.
Yes. If it's definitely anime, then you got me hooked like a sinker. Like
wow.
I'll definitely talk about anime.
She's trying to get me into One Piece. I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
One Piece is awesome.
Actually, like
there's even a patient, like we call them like frequent flyers because they're like we're so used to them coming in and out of the hospital that when you see their name on the roster, you're just like, man, this patient is here again. And there's this one boy, like he's probably 20 years old, bruh, and he's into anime. I'm telling you, I feel like I was always in his room, like It felt like hours on end, and all we would talk about is anime while I'm passing his meds. It's just like, he's just like, did you watch this anime? And I'm just like, bruh, I have to write that down on my list. I didn't watch it yet.
Wow.
You know, while I'm passing his meds. Yeah.
Maybe I'll get into One Piece. I don't know. The world will never know.
Awesome.
But thank you again for joining us on this pod for sure. I really enjoyed this conversation with my twin cousin Tavi, pretty much my sibling.
Yeah, man. I'm surprised he got me to talk for this long
because I'm the extroverted one. I know my stuff. Tavi.
I'm not much of a speaker. It's because I know Vladimir, so I can answer the questions. If it was some person on the street asked me these interview questions, I would say I don't know for everything.
I'd be the person interviewing people on the street. Like each conversation I have is like people are like, "Oh, are you interviewing something?"
Couldn't be me. Like even last night, he was just like, "Oh yeah, I need to meet with this photographer." I'm like, "Bro, I'm ready to go.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
already interacted with enough people today. I've already surrounded myself with enough people today. I'm ready to go home." And he's just like, "No, I need to talk to this photographer, you know." And I'm like, "The place closes at 10. Everybody's trying to go home.
We didn't talk till 5.
Bruh, like he's out here like, I need to talk to this photographer, you know." And I'm just like, "Bruh, I'm ready to go home. I've seen enough people. I've seen enough things." You know?
This is like, the interaction is just, I've seen her literally almost every week for 22 years. Well, 22 years today, because you were born yesterday, now I'm 4 months ahead, so I'm pretty much sorry.
Yeah.
It's been good, definitely. I'm curious, what do you think, like, because I always see you as the one that's going to be in the corner, that's going to know, like, she's good. What do you think about me after 22 years of seeing you?
I'm sure you'll figure it out. You always figure stuff out. You might be in a pickle now, but you always manage to get out of it. Like a little worm, man. Like
what?
You're fine.
Worm?
I'm just saying like a worm. I said like one. I didn't say you are one. There's differences.
She was salting on my own podcast.
I just said like he knows how to worm his way out of stuff. He gets himself in a pickle and then he'll like call you back later and he's just like, "Yeah, I figured it out."
Yeah,
so it's just like he has you worried, and then next thing you know, he's like, "Yeah, I figured it out."
I don't know why that's my personality.
Like, you're never really worried, and I'm never really worried either. Because I know you're just gonna figure it out. That's how you are.
Thank you. Say your Instagram for me, for the people.
My Instagram, it's I.Tabby. I, like a lowercase I, the dot like a period, like at the end of a sentence.
Yeah.
Tabby. I.Tabby.
Like iRobot.
Like iRobot.
All right, but definitely thank you for checking out this podcast. Thank you for watching this episode. Just like I said before, you are not just invited to discussion, but I want you to be a part of it. So drop your comments down below, and we'll see you on the next time. So, as I said with everything, I wish you all the best, and with the rest, God bless.
Yep, and watch One Piece.
You need to become like a brand ambassador for One Piece.
Yeah, man, you see this? Y'all need to watch. This should be on the outtakes, like bloopers or something like that. Yeah, watch One Piece, y'all.
Alright, take care, y'all. Thank you for watching this episode. This conversation with Tavi has been one for the books, but now I gotta kick it back to you guys. Please tell me, do you think there's benefits for being an introvert? Because I still haven't gotten my answer yet. But let me know down in the comments, or even if you're nursing major whatsoever. Do you think nursing is the biggest customer service job? Please let me know down in the comments, because I know I couldn't do night shift. If you're doing night shift, please let me know, because I know I could not be doing any of that. But as I say with everything, I wish you all the best, and with the rest, God bless.